What would you do if you heard a grown man crying alone deep in the woods at 1 a.m.? Tonight, I'm going to share a story that has haunted me ever since I first read it. It's not a ghost story. It's not about demons. It's about something worse. Something that walks among us, mimicking us, but it is not us. This is a true story from Missouri, 2012. The story of the crying man in the woods. It was the summer of 2012. I was a sophomore at a small college in Missouri. A group of us decided to go camping in the Ozark National Forest before classes started again. There were 6 of us, me. My roommate Jason, his girlfriend Emily, our friend Tyler, and 2 girls from Emily's class, Brooke and Sasha. We arrived late afternoon. We set up our tents and spent the evening grilling hot dogs over the fire. We drank cheap beer and told ghost stories none of us believed in. At least, not until that night. Around 1 a.m., we were drifting off to sleep when we heard it. At first, it sounded like an animal, a distant yelp echoing through the trees. But then it came again, clearer. It wasn't an animal. It was a man crying, deep, guttural sobbing, coming from somewhere out in the black woods. We all sat up in our tents, listening. The crying would start, fade, then come back again. I heard Jason unzip his tent. "Dude, what the hell is that?" he whispered. "Someone hurt?" I asked, my heart pounding. "I don't know." "Should we check it out?" Emily's voice trembled. "No. Don't go out there." But after 20 minutes of the crying getting closer, Tyler couldn't take it. "Fuck this," he said. He grabbed a flashlight. "If someone's hurt, we can't just leave them." I didn't want him going alone. I grabbed my flashlight and followed. "Stay here," I told the others. They stared wide-eyed from their tents. The night was cold. Mist clung to the forest floor. Our lights cut through the dark, showing twisted trees and thorns. The crying was louder out there. It sounded like a grown man weeping, mixed with gasps and words we couldn't hear. "Hello," Tyler called out. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" The crying paused. Then it started again, louder, closer. A chill crawled up my spine. Something was wrong. It wasn't just a man crying. It was off, like a recording on loop, with small variations that made it worse, too rhythmic. We kept walking, calling out, but the crying moved away, deeper into the woods, luring us. Suddenly Tyler grabbed my arm. "Look," he whispered, pointing ahead, through the trees. About 30 feet away, we saw him, a man, naked, covered in mud or dirt, crouched with his back to us. His body was thin, ribs jutting out, skin pale beneath the dirt, almost grey under our lights. He rocked back and forth, sobbing, but no sound came from his mouth. The crying wasn't matching him. It was like the sound came from somewhere else, but we felt it vibrating in our chests. "Sir," Tyler stepped forward. "Are you okay? We can call 911. The man stopped rocking. He went completely still. Slowly, he turned his head. His face was long and gaunt. Sunken black eyes reflected none of our light. His mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. Jaw unhinged. The crying stopped. Silence. Not even crickets chirped. Then it laughed. The sound wasn't human. Deep, guttural, echoing. Coming from everywhere, not just him. It laughed like someone crying for hours. Laugh mixed with sobs. Then a booming cackle that shook the trees. Tyler screamed. I grabbed his arm and we ran. Branches whipped my face as we sprinted back to camp. Behind us, the laughter grew louder. It was following us. We burst into camp, screaming for the others to pack up. Emily and the girls were sobbing. They heard it too. It was coming closer. We left everything behind. We ran to the cars and drove down the dirt road as fast as we could. Even as we sped away, we heard that laughter echo faintly through the forest. The next morning, we called the police. They searched but found nothing. No naked man. No footprints. Just our abandoned tents. For weeks, Tyler had nightmares about his face. Emily never went near the woods again. As for me, I still hear that laughter sometimes, usually when I'm alone at night. Driving dark, empty roads, I always wonder if it followed us out that night, and if it's still watching. If you ever hear someone crying in the woods, don't go looking, because sometimes it's not a person who needs help. It's something that wants to find you. What would you do if you were alone in the basement of an abandoned hospital at 3 a.m. and heard footsteps running behind you? Tonight, I'll share a story from Arkansas, 1996. It's not about ghosts or spirits. It's about something that should not exist. This is the thing in the abandoned hospital basement. In 1996, a man named Carl worked as a night security guard. He was in his late 40s, divorced, saving money to move out of state. His post was an abandoned hospital near Little Rock, Arkansas. It was once a mental asylum in the 50s. Later, a general hospital in the 70s. Closed in the 80s after asbestos issues and lawsuits. Carl's job was simple. Walk the halls twice a night. Check all entries. Ensure no teens broke in to vandalize. Most nights, he read newspapers, drank coffee, and listened to AM radio static. But one rainy Thursday in September, everything changed. Round to 45 a.m., the alarm panel lit up. Motion sensor tripped in the basement. Carl sighed, grabbed his flashlight and master key. The elevator was disconnected. He took the emergency stairs. Down 3 levels, the basement smelled of mold, rotting insulation and stagnant water. Flickering fluorescent bulbs lit cracked concrete floors and faded yellow walls. He walked past storage rooms, old operating theaters, mechanical rooms with rusted pipes. Then he heard it, dripping water at first, then footsteps. Fast, light footsteps, like someone barefoot running between rooms. Carl froze. His light scanned doorways. Security, he called. You're trespassing. Come out where I can see you. Silence. The footsteps came again, behind him. So fast they sounded like claws scraping concrete. He spun round, heart pounding. Who there? No answer. He continued down the hall, shining into each room. Most were empty. Rusted gurneys, broken wheelchairs, dusty for stands. Then, in a mechanical room at the far end, he saw it. At first, it looked like broken pipe insulation. Then it moved. The thing was white. Not skin pale. Corpse white. Smooth, almost plastic-like, reflecting his light. Shaped like a human, but twisted. Arms long, reaching past knees. Fingers thin and claw-like, twitching. Legs bent backward like a dog. Emaciated. Skin stretched tight over bone. It faced away, crouched down. Shoulders heaving, like it was breathing. Carl tried to speak. No words came out. Suddenly, it twisted its head round. The body didn't move. Its face was blank, no eyes, no nose, no ears. Just a mouth. A wide, lipless mouth stretching across where its jaw should be. filled with small grey teeth like broken glass shards. It opened that mouth and screamed. The sound was a baby crying, a cat screeching, and metal grinding, all at once. Carl stumbled back, hitting the door frame. The creature reacted instantly. It turned its body in an impossible way, folding like its spine was rubber. It crawled toward a vent in the wall. The vent was only 12 inches wide. Carl watched as it pushed its head in. Shoulders collapsed with cracking sounds. Its torso folded like paper. Hips dislocated with a wet pop. It slid inside, pulling its long arms and bent legs after, scraping the metal. Then it was gone. Carl ran up the stairs, nearly vomiting. He locked himself in the security booth until sunrise. The next morning, he quit. He never explained why. Years later, he told the story to a pastor for PTSD counseling. The pastor recorded it. That's how it aired on local radio in 1998. No one knows what that thing was. Some say a demon trapped under the hospital. Others think it was a failed government experiment hiding underground. The hospital still stands there empty. Abandoned. At least, that's what we think. If you ever find yourself walking alone in an abandoned hospital basement and you hear footsteps behind you, don't turn round. Because if you see what's making that sound, you might never sleep peacefully again. Have you ever received a call from someone who's supposed to be dead? Tonight, I'll share a story from Montana, 2018. It's not about demons or monsters. It's about something far more terrifying. This is the phone call from a dead sister. In December 2018, Lacey lived alone in Missoula, Montana. She was 27, worked remotely as a data analyst. Most evenings, she visited her younger sister Mia, a college student 3 hours away. They were best friends. Then came December 2nd. That evening, it was snowing heavily. Lacey texted me at 6 p.m. No reply. Finals week. She thought. Round 9 p.m., her mom called. Sobbing uncontrollably, through tears, her mother said, "Mia's gone. She was in an accident. The roads were icy. The car rolled. She didn't make it." Lacey screamed, sobbed, hyperventilated. The next days were a blur of grief and funeral plans. On the third night after Mia's death, Lacey couldn't sleep. She lay in bed scrolling old photos and texts. At 12 a.m., her phone buzzed. Incoming FaceTime call. Mia. Her chest tightened so hard she thought she'd faint. Her thumb trembled. She thought it was a glitch. Maybe her mom using Mia's phone. But grief and hope made her answer. The call connected. The screen was black at first. "Mia," she whispered. No response. She turned up the volume. No static. Just silence. Then the image shifted. The camera showed a dark room with moonlight through blinds. "Mia, please, is that you?" Movement. From the bottom of the screen, something rose into frame. It was Mia's face, but it wasn't right. Her skin was pale gray, almost translucent. Her eyes rolled back completely white. Her blonde hair hung damp and stringy. Worst was her mouth. Her lips stretched into a wide, broken smile, teeth stained dark red. Lacey felt urine soak her sheets. "Mia, what is this?" The figure tilted its head. Bones cracked as it moved. In a raspy, childlike whisper, it spoke. "I'm home." Static flickered. The image jolted forward like the face was lunging. Lacey screamed and threw her phone. It hit the wall. The call disconnected. She curled up sobbing for hours until sunrise. The next morning, She found her phone under the dresser. Crack screen. Still worked. She checked recent calls. Incoming FaceTime call. Mia. To 12 a.m. she called her mom. Hysterical. Her mom said Mia's phone was locked away with her belongings 3 hours away. Lacey deleted Mia's contact, blocked her number, deleted every photo and text. But nightmares didn't stop. Every night, she dreamed of Mia's white eyes and broken smile. Sometimes she woke at night to see a missed FaceTime call from Mia at exactly to 12 a.m. Now she sleeps with her phone turned off, hidden in her drawer, because she knows if Mia ever calls again, and if she answers, she might never wake up again. If you ever get a call from someone you lost, don't answer it. Sometimes they're not calling to say goodbye. They're calling to come back. What would you do if you woke up and saw someone staring at you from under your bed? Tonight, I'll share a story from Oregon, 2007. It's not about ghosts or demons. It's about something that pretends to be human. This is The Girl Under the Bed. Back in 2007, there was a high school senior named Eric. He lived with his mom in a small apartment in Portland, Oregon. He worked evenings at a movie theater and got home late. One night in October, he came home after closing shift. It was nearly 1 a.m. His mom was asleep. He microwaved leftover pizza and went to his room. Eric was exhausted. He collapsed into bed fully clothed and fell asleep instantly. Some time later, he woke up. His room was dark except for the streetlight glow through his blinds. He didn't know what woke him. Then he heard it. Breathing, heavy, ragged breathing, coming from under his bed. At first, he thought it was his own breath echoing against the wall. But then it exhaled louder, like someone sighing in relief. Eric's heart pounded. He lay frozen for what felt like hours. Finally, he gathered the courage to lean over the side and look under. In the dim light, he saw eyes. Two wide, black eyes staring back at him from the darkness. As his eyes adjusted, he saw a face. It was a girl. She looked about 15, with tangled black hair covering most of her face. But what he could see didn't look human. Her skin was pale gray, with long scratches across her cheek. Her eyes were huge, completely black, no whites at all. She smiled at him, a wide, crooked smile full of jagged yellow teeth. Eric gasped and stumbled back. The girl crawled out from under the bed. Her movements were jerky, unnatural, like a spider folding its legs. She stood up. Her arms were too long, almost reaching her knees. She wore a tattered white dress stained dark round the hem. She tilted her head, bones cracking loudly. Then, in a soft, childlike voice, she said, "SHHH, I've been waiting for you." Eric screamed so loud he woke his mom down the hall. She ran in and flipped on the light. The room was empty. No girl. Nothing under the bed. Eric was sobbing uncontrollably. His mom stayed with him the rest of the night. For weeks, Eric refused to sleep in his room. He slept on the living room couch with all the lights on. Months later, when they moved out, Eric helped his mom clean his old room. He lifted the mattress and saw scratches carved into the wood under his bed. Dozens of them. Words, over and over. "I'm still here. If you ever wake up at night and hear breathing under your bed, don't look. Because if you see what's down there, it might see you too." What would you do if you walked into the woods and couldn't find your way out? Tonight, I'll share a story from Maine, 2011. It's not about ghosts or monsters. It's about the forest itself. This is the woods that don't let you leave. In 2011, there was a man named Adam. He was 33, worked as a carpenter. On weekends, he hiked local trails to clear his mind. One Saturday in June, he went hiking alone in the Great North Woods. It was a clear day, sky bright blue, birds singing everywhere. Adam parked at the trailhead, grabbed his backpack, and set off. He followed the marked path for an hour. Then he saw a deer trail veering off to the right. Curious, he followed it. The woods were silent, there no birds, no wind. Just quiet. After 20 minutes, he decided to turn back. But when he turned round, the trail was gone. There was only thick brush and trees in every direction. Adam felt a chill despite the summer heat. He tried walking back the way he came. After 10 minutes, he reached a small clearing with a rotting log. He recognized it, because he had already passed it twice. Panic rose in his chest. He pulled out his phone. No signal. He started walking faster, then jogging, calling out for help. But the woods stayed silent. No matter which way he went, he kept ending up at the same clearing. Hours passed. The sun dipped low, shadows growing long. He screamed until his throat burned. As darkness fell, he collapsed against a tree, sobbing. That's when he heard it. A woman's voice, soft, whispering his name. Adam, he froze. The voice came from behind a tree. "Help me," it whispered. He stood up slowly. "Who's there? Help me. I'm lost too." Adam stepped closer. Behind the tree was a woman. She wore a long green dress, old-fashioned, torn at the bottom. Her hair was long and black, covering her face. He reached out a hand. "Are you okay?" She looked up. Her face was rotted, skin grey and peeling. Empty black eye sockets stared back at him. Her mouth opened wide, impossibly wide, revealing rows of broken black teeth. She lunged at him. Adam screamed and ran, crashing through branches and thorns. He didn't care where he went. Finally, he burst out onto the marked trail, the sun rising in the distance. He sprinted to his car and drove away without looking back. Adam never hiked alone again. If you ever feel like the woods don't want to let you leave, you're probably right.